Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. A lot of times we look at food as the essence of good life, and people who call themselves foodie pay a lot of importance to not just the quality of food that they eat, the type of food that they eat, the quantity of food that they eat, but how do they eat that food, which means what places they go to, what kind of cutlery they use, and a lot of things. But definitely the quality of food and the type of food is critical to a foodie, the people who say they enjoy food. And so a lot of people may even enjoy, if they are foodies, they may enjoy even street food, where the kind of ambience and the seating and all may not be great, or leave a lot of things to be wanted, yet the taste buds may really get invigorated because of the kind of food and the type of food that's being served, and it suits the palates of the people who are going to eat that. So at the outset, let me just tell you, I am not a foodie. I like good food, but one of the challenges I face is that if somebody asks me, give a critical description of the food that I ate, maybe in the afternoon, and if it's evening, I may not be able to remember what I ate in the afternoon. And one of the challenges I have with my better half is that a great meal may be cooked, a lot of people may be able to describe the food that this particular spice is great and this is the flavor and all that. I can just say if it's good or bad, if it appeals to me or not, and I'm not somebody who can pick out specific spice and say this is more, this should have been done and all that. So that kind of an interest in food I am not able to state. However, our religious texts, our shlokas are replete with information about food, the kind of food, the quality of food, in what manner it should be consumed, how much it should be consumed, when it should be consumed, and also, which is very important, how that kind of food will benefit you. And so from an astrological point of view also, most of the astrological texts, including the mundane astrological book Brihat Samhita, talk a lot about the kind of food we need to eat and how it helps us. Now, if food is important and it does give us results astrologically as well, so it's important for us to delve deeper into this particular element so that we can make less to good to great impact in the way planetary placements, dashas and planetary strengths manifest in our lives. So I am going to talk more in the language of shlokas today, rather than just give you inputs from my own side or from the generic astrological knowledge that is available. So let's delve deeper into the shlokas world today. So the first shloka I am going to present to you is about the Manas, the moon, and I consider it, and a lot of astrological texts also consider the moon to be the most important, the most critical planet in the horoscope, because moon represents the mind, moon also represents the heart, moon represents the mother, and moon represents the fourth house, which is the house of mental peace and domestic happiness. If you have mental peace, domestic happiness is there, you have a good house, you have good environment at home, you have all the luxurious goods from houses to jewelry to vehicles. What more do you want? So let's start with the shloka referred to regarding the moon and regarding an exalted moon in Taurus, and let's see what does it talk about food in relation to the exalted moon. The Hora Ratnam says that the person having the moon in Cancer will be endowed with good fortunes, valor, home, friends and travels. He will have knowledge of astrology and arts, be fond of sexual enjoyments, grateful, a minister of the king, will have good credentials, live in distant places, eat meat, be anguished and fond of water and flowers. His prosperity will be subjected to ups and downs. He will be associated with construction of temples, parks and wells, and have stout arms. Now, a so-called not sattvic food, which is meat, and it is sometimes seen as rajasic, and some people even regard meat as tamasic. Then why is it that a person who will be eating meat is being associated with an exalted moon and also being associated with construction of temples? That is the point to ponder, which means eating of meat may not be something which is regarded as the bad, but it has been given that certain castes who have certain religious duties, they should refrain from eating meat, which means that if you are doing any religious activity, then you should avoid eating meat. That's why a lot of the Sanatana Dharma ceremonies, religious ceremonies, the Hindu Dharma religious ceremonies, for example, a meal which is served during a marriage is usually a very vegetarian meal and a very sattvic meal. Also during a lot of other religious occasions also, including a child's mundan or the whether somebody dies and there is a meal to feed the poor and feed others. Then too, the meal which is served is a non-vegetarian meal. So meat can be consumed, however it should be avoided when a religious ceremony you are doing, or you are indulging in religious activities. For example, if you are doing mantras regularly to appease the deities, to improve the astrological placements and to strengthen a planet, during the course when you are doing the mantras, it is better to avoid non-vegetarian food. So for example, you take the snana, which is the bath. After the bath, you are in a state of purification, and then don't eat meat. Do your mantras, do your japas, do your puja, and once it's done, then you eat meat if you want. So between the time when you have the bath, the purification snana, and doing the religious ceremony or reading the mantra, chanting the mantras or doing the puja, between that time try and avoid non-vegetarian food and try and avoid any alcoholic drink, because that is supposed to be something which takes away your purity and is not something which is pleasing to the gods, to the deities. So that's one thing to be avoided. Now, while it is said that you avoid meat and wine while you are doing religious ceremonies, however, offering meat or fruits and wine in certain religious ceremonies has also been advised through the shlokas itself. Let's look up the shloka and see what it says. In that place, a circle should be drawn by the priest and filled with varieties of gems, and places kept apart for worshipping the deities, with serpents, yakshas, gods, mains, gandharvas, nymphs, sages and siddhas. The learned priest should draw with various colored powders the figures of the planets, with all the stars, Rudras, the mothers 7 in number, Skanda, Vishnu, Vishaka, the protectors of the quarters and divine ladies, and duly worship them with perfumes, garlands, scented paste, eatables and food of various kinds and varieties of roots, fruits and meat, and attractive drinks such as toddy, milk and wine. So, using toddy, which is a kind of a local alcohol, and sometimes even spurious alcohol, sometimes people denote that as wines, different kinds of meats, fruits and preparations can be offered as part of religious ceremonies, but specific religious ceremonies, and usually these are not done by Brahmins. And if at all Brahmins do, they have been asked to offer sattvic offerings, whereas here we have seen it's a combination of both Rajasic as well as Tamasic offerings. Sattvic means something which is about goodness. Rajasic means it is about passion and something which you want to attain through passion or through through attachments. Whereas Tamasic means of the dark nature or darkness. And so some foods, some acts, some drinks have been put into the Sattvic, some into Rajasic and some into the Tamasic nature. And so one needs to look into what kind of food can be offered to the deity when you are doing the mantras, the japas, the puja. But the best thing is to avoid during your chanting of mantras those foods which may not be conducive to that particular planet. So for example, if you are doing any mantras of the moon or of sun or of Jupiter, then it is definitely better to stick with sattvic food between the snana, which is the bath, and chanting of mantras. Same thing can be done even for Venus. However, Venus is more Rajasic in nature. So, meat and alcohol, some say that, some even sages and even some astrologers say that it's okay, it doesn't matter. But I would suggest that you stick to a sattvic food when you do any mantras, including that of Rahu and Ketu, because Rahu and Ketu are more tamasic energies. So when you are using mantras which placates Rahu and Ketu, the kind of food doesn't become very important, but it is always advisable to stick to sattvic food. Now Balabhadra in the Hora Ratnam talks about this particular shloka, which is an important one related to what the Shastras talk about eating of meat. Balabhadra says, if destiny is unchangeable and if destiny is only all important, in exclusion of all other conditions, human efforts remain futile. In this context, it is said that actions occur only within the framework of destiny. If this is agreed upon, the injunctions of Shruti and Smriti, sacred religious laws to perform Jyotishtama, a fire sacrifice to attain the heaven or final salvation, or to perform planetary rituals to obtain wealth and vigor, or to advise not to eat poisonous meat, not to climb dangerously on trees, will all go in vain. This means that even religious texts like Shruti and Smriti have talked about various kinds of remedies or yagyas or pujas or activities that can be done to get certain results out of life, including that of trying to attain better results in life. And these, Balabhadra says, are done through planetary rituals, which includes not to eat poisonous meat, which means to eat non-poisonous meat or Rajasic meat is okay. So meat has also been defined as that which has been allowed, which means that of herbivorous animals has been allowed, whereas eating meat of carnivorous animals like that of the cats, the dog and the wild animals has not been allowed. So there has been a clear distinction between the Rajasic meat and the Tamasic meat also, and what can be used, what meats can be used and what meats should not be used as part of the Shruti and the Smriti itself. And then something related to eating anything without any boundaries. Let's see what the shloka says. Sarva Bhrakshi Kritaghnaksha Dharma Dharma Vivarjita Hinsako Bahu Santapo Rakshasabde Bhave Nara, which says, and I translate, one born in the year of the Rakshasa will eat anything, he will be ungrateful and be bereft of discretion between righteous and unrighteous, will trouble others and incur much distress. This means that the Shastras believe, the Shlokas believe that when you're not selective in what you eat, then you lose the distinction between what is right and what is wrong, and hence your actions can also be in the direction of what is wrong, because your analytical ability to differentiate between the two is lost. And that's why you will see generally it is in the West that people eat anything and they don't refrain from anything. They may want to try different types of food. A Western who goes to China may want to eat snakes, squids, whatnot, just to try that kind of a food. And hence the Western society also has for example their day-to-day life, while they are very keen on the manners, but in the actions in life many times they don't keep boundaries, and a lot of boundaries are allowed to them, or crossing a lot of boundaries is okay with a Westerner. The other thing is, eating sweet food has been associated with not only sattvic nature but also of auspiciousness. Let's see what the shloka says. One born in Sisara Ritu will be blessed with physical strength, happiness and longevity. He will be inclined to eat sweet food and will have an amicable behavior. He will, however, incur windy diseases. That means your amicable behavior is directly has been associated with also eating sweet food. The sweet food is not only about eating certain things which are sweet, but sweet food is also been referred to as the sattvic food, which relates to more vegetarianism. It's not that somebody who consumes meat has been pulled up. However, the more vegetarian meals that you have and adding a bit of sweetness, jaggery or sugar or anything sweet or sweet fruits is being seen as auspicious, and that's why in a lot of offerings, fruits are a very important part of offering to the deities, and that's why vegetables are not offered, but fruits which are sweet are offered to deities, because fruits which are sweet or fruits are seen as being most sattvic and inviting abundance, inviting the pleasure of the planetary deities as well. And hence various fruits, if you consume to increase the strength of certain planets, then it will be better. So for example, if you want to increase the strength of moon, then drinking sweets and cold milk or sweet curd, flavored milk is seen as something which improves the strength of moon in your horoscope, and through that increasing the results that you expect out of the moon. The other is the quantity of food that you eat, and somebody who eats more has been associated with in fact foolishness or with sickness. Let's see what the shloka says. Nirgano bhumukha kashto hal karmarata sada vyagito murka buddhischa bhave dashad jo nara. One born in the month of Ashada will be indignant, will eat avidly, be industrious, involved in tilling, ever troubled by sickness, and be foolish. So a person who eats more may be industrious, may be even hardworking, but may also be somebody who also invites sickness and will also invite laziness, and he may also invite poor decision making, which constitutes to be foolish. So hence eating sweet, eating sattvic, but in the limited quantity and with discipline has been associated with increase of planetary energies, and inviting abundance in life, inviting the pleasure of the deities, and keeping the wrath of deities away from you, and increasing the strength of planets in the horoscope. Some nakshatras have been associated with a lot of abundance and materialism also. Bharani nakshatra is one which has been associated with a more rajasic life, which means good food, materialistic attachments, fond of luxury, fond of intimacy, fond of the opposite gender, and so on. Let's see what this particular shloka talks about Bharani Nakshatra also related to food. Kamopachara, Kushala, Satyavadi, Dhritvrata, Aroga, Subhago, Jata, Bharanya, Lagu, Bhuk, Sukhi. One born in Bharani Nakshatra will be skillful in sexual acts, be truthful, resolute in his undertakings, bereft of sickness, fortunate, and will eat limited food. So, Bharani Nakshatra natives will invite a lot of abundance and materialistic pleasures also, yet a Bharani Nakshatra individual, while wanting luxuries, foods, drinks, will eat limited food, will be very selective in the kind of food they eat, the type of food they eat, and the quantity of food they eat. So, abundance has nothing related to eating more. Abundance is about the quality and kind of food and the type of things and food that you get in your life, and abundance has less to do with the quantity. It has to do the quality of life. Just about eating anything without being selective, like the Bharani Nakshatra individuals will do, has been called upon as sometimes very disastrous to life and disastrous to how one approaches decision making in life. Let's see what this shloka talks about when you're not selective to eating and just eat about anything. One of Marjara Yoni will have tawny eyes, will eat anything, be fickle minded, contemptuous, and be unnecessarily irascible. So when you eat just about anything, then you will be contemptuous, you will not be able to think right, you will be fickle minded, and you will also be somebody who may not be good in behavior, with good manners, and through that you may not be able to establish good relations and thus not be able to attract good and auspicious results in life. And hence one has to be selective in eating and has to be careful that one has to be indulge in more sattvic food, maybe a little bit of rajasic food from time to time, but in selective and limited quantity, and avoid the tamasic foods. The other important thing is that the tattva that we are born in, especially related to both the ascendant and the nakshatra that one is born in, indulging in foods of that tattva will also increase the strength not only of the ascendant lord also, and of the nakshatra lord also. Let's see what this particular shloka talks about, the kind of food one eats to improve the tattva of a certain kind of sign or ascendant that you are born in. One with predominance of the Jala tattva element will drink a lot of water, will speak sweetly, will consume juicy food, be fickle minded, will have many friends, and will not be lastingly resolute. So a person of the Jala tattva, being born in the ascendant of either Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces, sometimes may not come across as somebody who is resolute because of being born in an ascendant which constitutes fluidity, and such people may also intake more of drinks or liquids and may enjoy those. However, while you may eat certain kinds of food to increase the strength of certain planetary entities, it's also important to balance your diet in such a manner that you also increase the strength of those planets who have less strength in the horoscope. If you are born in the Cancer ascendant, but if moon is weak, then indulging in more liquid foods will obviously improve moon. However, if some other planet is weak while you are born in watery ascendant like Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces, then you need to also strengthen the other planet through various activities. But food is also one entity or one activity which also strengthens the planetary strengths, not to a great extent as much as behavior will do, the attitude will do, but enough to be able to attract, give some strength to the planet whose energy is associated with different kinds of foods. So for example, if Jupiter is weak, then eating some sweet, eating sweet fruit is good to improve Jupiter. Also eating things which are yellow or saffron. Saffron is a great food to eat, both to improve the quality of both the sun as well as Jupiter. So eating a bit of saffron every now and then improves both sun and Jupiter. So if you are born in a Cancer ascendant where both moon is also weak and Jupiter, then to drink sweet milk, cold milk which may have been stored overnight in the refrigerator, adding a few dry fruits to it and a bit of saffron, leave it overnight and drink early in the morning is a fantastic remedy for a lot of things. This can improve not only your moon but will improve a lot of other planets, because some dry fruits add strength to some other planets as well. Dry fruits specifically improve the quality of Venus. Milk, cold milk will improve the quality of moon as well as Venus. Adding a bit of saffron will improve both Jupiter and sun. So leaving some milk overnight in the refrigerator, adding some honey in the morning, adding a few dry fruits, or putting the dry fruits in the night itself and leaving it overnight along with saffron, sugar, everything, and drinking early morning after brushing your teeth and then not eating anything for an hour or two is a great remedy for better health, better mental ability, and to improve a lot of planetary strengths in the horoscope. So try that and it will definitely bear you good health and good results. Now a shloka about why sattvic food has been given more importance than the rajasic food and why the tamasic food has been asked to be avoided. Let's see what this shloka and a final shloka for the day says. Sattva gives goodness and abundance. It makes a person kind-hearted towards all beings, firm or steady in attitude, courageous, straightforward and devoted to Brahmins and gods. Rajasa, passion or intense activity, gives great interest in literature and poetry, fine arts, sacrifices and women, and makes one very heroic. Tamasa gives darkness and makes one foolish, lazy, hot-tempered and addicted to sleeping. So if you want to appeal to the gods, you want to keep the gods happy and you want to attract abundance, keep an attachment towards sattvic food which is more vegetarian in nature. Meat every now and then is not bad. However, while doing activities related to mantra, japas, pujas, definitely between the snana, which is the purification bath, and the particular religious activity or the chanting of mantras, avoid meat. Other than you can have meat, and avoid red meat and limit the amount of meat that you have. Rajasic food is not bad. It adds the punch to life, it gives the flavor to life, which includes wine, alcohol and meats as well, and different kinds of meat. But try and limit the kind of meat and the kind of alcohols that you have, and to the extent you have and how often you have. And tamasic, which is the very strong alcohol and or the country liquors and all, and eating anything and everything, all kinds of meat, even red meat, and the meat which has been asked not to be eaten, including that of swine, should be avoided, so that you don't become lazy, you don't become contemptuous, and you don't attract negative energies in your life. So friends, look into what your dietary habits are, what are the planetary strengths in the horoscope which need to be strengthened, so that you attract those kinds of better results from those planets. Look at what dasha you are in and what is the dasha lord. Do or partake meals which also relate to the dasha and the antardasha lord, as well as important transits which are happening in your life, and definitely to strengthen those planets which are weak, so that you attract abundance, you attract better results, you keep the gods happy on your side, and you make life better to live in and happier to live. So friends, if you are looking for a consultation from me, reach out to me at the links given below. Please like this video, please share this video, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new video is coming. Until we meet some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.